Hello, wonderful friends. As we gracefully journey through our golden years, what often comes to mind? Perhaps peaceful mornings, cherished time with loved ones, or perhaps enjoying your favorite activities with energy and ease. Central to all of this is our ability to move freely, to stand tall, and to feel strong in our bodies. Our bones are the very foundation of that strength and mobility. For a long time, there's been a quiet understanding, almost an unspoken rule, that certain health concerns belong to one group more than another. And when it comes to bone health, many of us have heard the phrase, osteoporosis is a woman's disease. It's often linked with menopause and talked about predominantly in conversations about female health. But what if I told you that this widely accepted belief, that osteoporosis only affects women, is actually a dangerous myth? A myth that could be putting countless men, perhaps even you or a loved one, at unnecessary risk, leading to overlooked conditions and potentially life-altering consequences. Today we're going to gently but firmly challenge this misconception. We'll uncover the truth about osteoporosis in men, why it's so often missed, and most importantly, what steps you can take to protect your precious bones and ensure your continued strength and independence. This isn't about fear, it's about empowerment, about giving yourself and the men in your life the knowledge to live a vibrant and active future. Let's begin by acknowledging the common understanding. For many years, osteoporosis has indeed been primarily associated with women. It's true that women, especially after menopause, face a higher risk due to a sharp drop in estrogen, which is crucial for bone maintenance. This focus has led to widespread awareness campaigns, screenings, and treatments tailored for women. However, this strong association, while accurate for women, has inadvertently created a dangerous blind spot for men. Because osteoporosis is seen as a women's issue, men are far less likely to be screened for it, even if they have significant risk factors. Doctors might not think to test them, and men themselves might not even consider it a possibility for their own health. The danger lies in this lack of awareness and screening. When men do develop osteoporosis, it often goes undiagnosed until a serious event occurs, such as a painful bone fracture from a minor fall. This means they miss out on early interventions that could slow bone loss, strengthen bones, and prevent that first devastating break. It's like having a slow leak in a tire but never checking the pressure because you assume only certain cars get flat tires. By the time you notice, the damage might be severe. Osteoporosis is often called a silent disease, for a very important reason. You typically don't feel your bones getting weaker. Unlike a sore muscle or a persistent cough, bone loss doesn't usually cause pain or obvious symptoms until a significant amount of bone density has been lost. Imagine your bones as a strong honeycomb-like structure. When you have osteoporosis, the holes in this honeycomb become larger, and the outer walls become thinner, making the bone fragile and prone to breaking. This process happens gradually over many years without you even realizing it. For both men and women, the first alarming sign of osteoporosis is often a fracture. This might be a wrist fracture after a simple trip, a vertebral fracture in the spine that causes back pain and height loss, or most seriously, a hip fracture after a fall that might not seem severe. For men, this silent nature is particularly concerning. Because they are less likely to be on a doctor's radar for osteoporosis, their first fracture often comes as a complete shock, not just to them but often to their medical team. And unfortunately, when men experience these fractures, especially hip fractures, the consequences can often be more severe, leading to longer hospital stays, greater loss of independence, and even a higher mortality rate compared to women. This silent progression underscores why we must challenge the myth and be proactive about bone health for everyone. So, if osteoporosis isn't just a woman's disease, why do men get it? It's not a single cause, but often a combination of factors that can weaken male bones over time. One undeniable factor is aging itself. Just like women, men naturally begin to lose bone density after their peak bone mass, which is usually reached in their late 20s or early 30s. This process accelerates around age 65 to 70 for men. Beyond age, certain medications can significantly increase a man's risk. Long-term use of corticosteroids, often prescribed for conditions like asthma, rheumatoid arthritis, or inflammatory bowel disease, can dramatically weaken bones. Treatments for prostate cancer, which often involve lowering testosterone levels, can also contribute to bone loss because testosterone plays a crucial role in maintaining bone density in men. Underlying medical conditions also play a part. Chronic diseases like kidney disease, liver disease, chronic lung disease, overactive thyroid or parathyroid, and certain digestive disorders can all interfere with the body's ability to absorb calcium or process bone-building nutrients. Then there are lifestyle factors. Smoking is a significant risk factor as it can reduce bone density. Excessive alcohol consumption also weakens bones. A diet consistently low in calcium and vitamin D, which are essential for strong bones, can also contribute. And a sedentary lifestyle, lacking in weight-bearing exercise, means your bones aren't getting the stress they need to stay strong. Finally, a family history of osteoporosis can also increase a man's risk. If your father or other male relatives had osteoporosis or experienced fractures from minor falls, you might have a genetic predisposition. Understanding these risk factors is the first step towards proactive bone health. Let me share a story about a gentleman named Tom. Tom was a spry 75-year-old, always active. He loved playing golf twice a week and staying busy with yard work. He was strong, felt healthy, and frankly had never given a second thought to his bones. After all, osteoporosis was something his wife's friends talked about, not something that applied to him. One crisp autumn morning, Tom was doing some routine leaf blowing when he slipped on a patch of wet leaves. It wasn't a dramatic fall, just a simple trip and tumble onto his side. He tried to get up, but a sharp, excruciating pain shot through his hip. An ambulance was called, and soon Tom was in the emergency room. The news from the doctor was a shock. Tom had broken his hip. What surprised him even more was when the orthopedic surgeon, after explaining the surgery, mentioned, "Mr. Davies, this type of fracture from such a minor fall often indicates underlying osteoporosis. We'll be running some tests for that as well." Tom was bewildered. "Osteoporosis? But that's for women," he exclaimed. The doctor calmly explained that while more common in women, men are absolutely at risk, especially as they age and often without any prior symptoms. The bone density scan confirmed it. Tom had osteoporosis, and it was likely a contributing factor to his fracture. This was a difficult realization for Tom, who had always seen himself as robust and impervious to women's diseases. He felt a mix of frustration and a deep regret that he hadn't known this sooner. His recovery was long and challenging, taking months of rehabilitation to regain his mobility. But through it all, Tom found a new resolve. He learned everything he could about bone health. He adjusted his diet, started taking appropriate supplements, and engaged in specific exercises to strengthen his bones and improve his balance. He became an advocate, sharing his story with his male friends, urging them not to dismiss the risk simply because of gender. Tom's story is a powerful reminder that bone health is for everyone, and that even a seemingly minor fall can be a critical wake-up call to an underlying condition. Tom's experience, while common, highlights a critical point. When men experience fractures due to osteoporosis, the consequences can often be more severe and debilitating than many realize. While hip fractures are devastating for anyone, studies have shown that men who suffer a hip fracture tend to have a higher mortality rate in the year following the fracture compared to women. This is a sobering statistic that underscores the seriousness of this condition in men. Beyond mortality, fractures can lead to a significant loss of independence. A broken hip or spine can mean difficulty with daily tasks, prolonged rehabilitation, and for some, a transition from living independently to needing assisted care. The ability to walk, drive, shop, or even dress oneself can be profoundly impacted. There's also the element of chronic pain, reduced mobility, and a diminished quality of life. The fear of another fall can lead to social isolation, as individuals might avoid activities they once enjoyed. The emotional toll can be just as significant as the physical one. This isn't meant to scare you, but to highlight why taking osteoporosis seriously in men is so vital. It's about preventing that first, devastating fracture and protecting your ability to enjoy the active, independent life you cherish. So, what can we do to protect our bones regardless of gender? The good news is that there are many simple, effective steps we can all take to build and maintain strong bones throughout our lives. And if you're a man who thought this wasn't for you, now's the time to embrace these strategies. 1. Talk to your doctor about bone health. If you're a man over 60, especially if you have any of the risk factors we discussed, like certain medications, underlying conditions, or a family history, bring up bone health with your doctor. Ask if a bone density screening, often called a DXA scan, might be right for you. It's a quick, painless scan that can tell you a lot about your bone strength. 2. Ensure adequate calcium intake. Calcium is the building block of bones. Aim for about 1,000 to 1,200 milligrams per day for most adults over 50. Good sources include dairy products, leafy green vegetables like kale and broccoli, fortified cereals, and calcium-fortified plant milks. 3. Get enough vitamin D. Vitamin D is crucial because it helps your body absorb calcium. Sun exposure is one source, but many older adults don't get enough. Rich food sources include fatty fish like salmon and tuna and fortified milk. Your doctor can test your vitamin D levels and recommend supplements if needed. 4. Embrace weight-bearing and muscle-strengthening exercise. Activities that put stress on your bones like walking, jogging, dancing, or hiking help stimulate bone growth. Muscle-strengthening exercises using weights or resistance bands also support bone health and improve balance, reducing the risk of falls. 5. Avoid smoking and limit alcohol. Both smoking and excessive alcohol consumption are detrimental to bone health. Quitting smoking and moderating alcohol intake are significant steps toward stronger bones. 6. Practice fall prevention. Since fractures often result from falls, take steps to make your home safer. Remove tripping hazards, ensure good lighting, use handrails on stairs, and consider balance exercises. These aren't just suggestions. They are crucial strategies for maintaining your skeletal health and ensuring a strong foundation for a vibrant future. My dear friends, as we conclude our conversation today, I hope we've successfully debunked the dangerous myth that osteoporosis only affects women. The truth is clear. Men are absolutely at risk, and acknowledging this is the first step towards protection and proactive care. We've learned about the silent nature of bone loss, the various factors that put men at risk, and the serious impact that fractures can have on a man's life. And through Tom's story, we've seen how a wake-up call, though challenging, can lead to powerful changes and a renewed commitment to health. Your bones are your foundation, supporting you through every step of your life's journey. Let's commit to protecting them, seeking knowledge, and taking action when necessary. Don't let old myths limit your health potential. What is one thing you learned today that surprised you, or one step you feel inspired to take for your bone health? Please share your thoughts and experiences in the comments below. Your wisdom and openness can encourage others in our community. If you found this video informative and helpful, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe to our channel for more insights on healthy aging, and share it with the men and women in your life who might benefit from this vital information. Your support helps us continue creating content that truly matters. Thank you for joining me today. We look forward to seeing you in our next video, where we'll continue to explore topics that empower you to live a life filled with strength, joy, and independence. Take care and keep those bones strong.